Welcome back to another crochet tutorial with Cozy Rosie UK. Today I'm sharing with you the third square from the Cable Comforts Heritage 8 to create a beautiful heirloom sampler at the heart of the Cable Comforts collection. Each unique crochet cable square showcases a different motif, from bold braids to delicate twists, designed to challenge and inspire you to create with confidence. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell so you never miss out on another one of my crochet patterns or tutorials again. If you are new to crochet cables, don't be put off with how complicated they look. Crochet cable stitches are simply made using post stitches, and it's how and where those post stitches are worked that create these intricate cable patterns. Every even number in the row in the square is just a row of single crochets or UK double crochets, so you do get a bit of a reprieve after each row of post stitches. Just to let you know that throughout this video I will be using US crochet terms, but you'll find a link in the description box below to view the written pattern on my website, or you can opt to purchase the ebook, which is available in both US and UK terms, and that contains all 8 of the written square patterns, detailed cable charts and additional photo tutorials. Plus, you'll also get the stitch multiples for each of the square to transform them into individual blankets. To complete your Heritage 8 blanket, you will need to make 3 of each of the square blanket designs for a total of 24 squares that will be joined before an edging is added the whole way around the blanket. Each square will be blocked to a finished size of 9 inches. You can of course opt to make more or less of your favourite squares to make a blanket size that you'll prefer. The materials that I've used for my Heritage 8 blanket is this Stylecraft Special Aran. It is 100% acrylic yarn, and this is shade number 1203, which is silver. The recommended hook size for this yarn is a 5mm hook, so if you need to substitute for any other brand you can do, just to make sure that it is suitable for a 5mm hook. I will be using the recommended hook size for my blanket. If you are a tight crocheter or you're worried about yarning over and pulling through loops, especially with this square, I'd recommend going up one size bigger on your hook, so maybe a 5.5 or even a 6mm hook, just to create a bit of a looser blanket. These squares do loosen up a bit once they're blocked. This one is not currently blocked, so it's a bit stiffer. From a yardage point of view, you're going to need between 90 and 100 meters per square, or 100 and 115 yards. Of course, you are going to need a darning needle and a pair of scissors just to weave in any ends, and I'm excited to share this one with you today because of course it showcases those beautiful rope stitches that can be recreated in crochet. Once you've made your slip knot and placed your loop onto your hook, we are going to begin by making a chain of 34. This is one of 2 squares in the Heritage 8 that starts with this chain number. We're going to yarn over and pull through the loop to create our chain, and we need to make 34 of them. Once you've made your chain of 34, I'm going to encourage you to flip your chain over and work into the back bumps. Just helps make edging this square that little bit more easy. We're going to be working into the second chain from hook, and each chain or back bump across, working 1 US single crochet. At the end of row 1 you should have a stitch count of 33 stitches. At the end of row 1 you should have a stitch count of 33 stitches, and throughout this square each row should end with 33 stitches, so no matter which row you've worked you should always have 33 stitches. Now row 2 we are going to make a turning chain of 1 and work 1 single crochet into each stitch across, maintaining that stitch count of 33. Going into row 3, we're going to set up our cable pattern, and we're going to start with that turning chain of 1. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the same as our chain 1 and 1 single crochet into the next stitch. We're then going to work 1 front post double crochet around each of the next posts 2 rows below. So this post relates to that stitch we've just made. This is the next post to work around. We're going to yarn over the hook and insert our hook underneath the stitch we're working the post of 2 rows below and make our double crochet. So that's the first one. We're going to insert our hook around the next post of the next single crochet 2 rows below. So you should have 1, 2, and then the next 2 will be worked around. We're then going to start our pattern repeat. For each post stitch that you work, you should skip a stitch behind that post. So the next stitch we're going to work into is this one, because we've worked one post, two posts, and then we're starting our pattern repeat, working one single crochet into each of the next two stitches. We're then going to work one front post double crochet around each of the next two single crochets 2 rows below. So this is the stitch and that's the post we're working around. So that's one. And that's the next post to work around. We're going to skip a stitch for each of those posts worked and work a single crochet into the next. We're then going to work one front post double crochet around each of the next two single crochets 2 rows below. So not this one, we're going to work around the next one. So that's one, and then work around the next for number 2. We should be looking a little bit like that, and you should have 2 stitches in between and then 1 stitch in between those. We need to work a single crochet into that next stitch of our current row, making sure that we have skipped 1 stitch behind for each of the post stitch worked. We're then going to work 1 single crochet into that next stitch, and this time we're going to work 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 3 single crochet posts 2 rows below. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So we yarn over, insert, work that first front post double crochet. We're going around the next post 2 rows below for the second time, and then we're going to go around the next post again for the third time. We need to skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, 1 for each of the posts worked, and then we're single crocheting into the next stitch and repeating that again, working 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 3 single crochets 2 rows below. So we yarn over, working around 1, work around the next for the second and the third as well. Skip 1, 2, 3, 1 for each of the posts and single crochet into the next stitch. So now we have 3 in a row with 1 in between. We're now going to repeat this section here where we have 2, a single crochet in between and 2 post stitches. So we're going to single crochet into that next stitch on our row before we work 1 single crochet around each of the next 2 post stitches 2 rows below. That's 1 and 2. Skip 1, 2 for both of the post stitches that we worked and single crochet into the next stitch on your row. I'm going to repeat that again. 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 2 single crochet posts. So that's 1 and 2. Skip 1, skip 2 and work 1 single crochet into that next stitch. So we have 1, 2 post stitches, 1 stitch in between and another 2 post stitches. We're going to work a single crochet into that next stitch before working 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2. Skip 1, skip 2, I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to work 1 final single crochet into that last stitch. So we have a lot of posts on this one here. So if I grab that square, one moment. For the setup row, we're placing these groups together and they are worked in the same number the whole way across. So I'm calling this a single twist. You've got your double twist and then you've got your triple twist, a double and then a single to make it nice and balanced. And we should have 2 posts together and 2 single crochets before having that group of for the double, so 1, 2, a single, 1, 2, 1, 2 to bring us to our next grouping, which is a triple twist. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1 single, 1, 2, 3, 2 single crochets to move over to that fourth grouping. We've got our double twist, so we've got 1, 2 single and 1 and 2, 2 single crochets between that and the last group where we have our single twist, so 1 and 2 stitches at the end. The setup rows are always the longest ones to do, and we need to take care that we put those posts in the right place, otherwise it makes all the rows that very much more difficult. For row 4, we are going to make a turning chain of 1 and work 1 single crochet into the same stitch as our chain 1 and into each stitch across. Need to make sure that we have that stitch count of 33 stitches at the end of this row, ready to go into row 5 and that second row of our cable twisting pattern. So at the end of row 4, make sure you have got your stitch count of 33 stitches, and we're going to go into row 5 to start those beautiful cable rope stitches. Make your turning chain of 1 and then work 1 single crochet into the same stitch as your chain 1 and 1 single crochet into the next. We're going to start by making our front post double crochet left cross. You may already be familiar with this stitch, and we're going to work across these 2 post stitches. The first post we're going to work over is this one, and then we're going to work back into the next. So we yarn over the hook, insert our hook underneath the post of the post stitch 2 rows below, yarn over, bring your loop up, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now all of the crosses made in this pattern are left crosses, so they're all worked in front, which means we just yarn over and then we're going to insert our hook from the front under that next post stitch to complete that front post double crochet left cross. Now we've worked 2 post stitches, so we do need to skip 2 stitches behind and work a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. We're then going to work over these next 5 stitches, making a front post treble crochet left cross. So this stitch is 1 higher in the number of times you wrap your hook, and we're going to be working across all 4 posts. In the following order, we're going to work these posts. This is going to be post number 1, that's number 2. We're going to make a little single crochet in the middle, and then we've got number 3 and number 4. Again, it's left cross, so we're not working behind, we're always working in front. For our front post treble crochet, we need to wrap the yarn around the hook twice. If you are using UK terms, this is a UK double treble, just not to confuse anybody. So we have wrapped around the hook twice, and we're going around that 3rd post. So we skip 1, skip 2 and go underneath that 3rd post. We're going to yarn over and bring up our 4th loop. We yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2 and pull through 2. And we're going to repeat that again, wrap the yarn around the hook twice. I'm going to work around the next post, working a front post treble crochet. So you bring up your 4th loop and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. So we have worked 2 posts, 1 and 2, and we're going to make a single crochet into that next stitch on our current row. That was not very clear. So 1, 2, that's the 3rd stitch, and we need to work a single crochet into that stitch, and that anchors those post stitches in position. We're then going to work back over the front around that first post that we skipped. So we wrap the yarn around the hook twice. We're going to pick up that front post and yarn over, bring our 4th loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, oops, pop that one back on for a moment, and yarn over and pull through 2. We should be yarning over and pulling through 2 3 times. We just need to work 1 more post in this twist. So we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook twice and work around that final post. Yarn over, bring your 4th loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. When you hold your work straight, it does create that beautiful twist that we are looking for. We've worked 1, 2 post stitches, so we're going to single crochet into that next stitch and then we're going to single crochet into the next again. You can really see how beautiful that twist works up when you've completed those single crochets either side. So that was the front post treble crochet left cross, worked over 5 stitches, and as you can see we now have 7 stitches to work across. So to make it easier to reach across those longer lengths, we simply increase the number of times we wrap the yarn around the hook compared to the number of stitches we're working across. So we have 1, 2, 3 stitches that we're working across, and this time we're going to do a US double treble. So that's a double, that's a treble, and then another wrap is a double treble. So you can guess, you can make these cable twists much larger, and you're just going to wrap the hook the number of times you're skipping a post before you start. So we're skipping 1, 2, 3 posts, so we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times. And the first post we're working around is not any of that first group, but the first of the next block of 3. So we yarn over 3 times, so we look like we've got 4 loops on our hook. Insert underneath that next post, yarn over, bring up a 5th loop, yarn over and pull through 2. 4 times, I had to do that as I counted it there. And we're going to work a 3rd double treble around that final post, wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times, and we're working around that final post stitch, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then we need to skip those 3 stitches on the back, so 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work a single crochet in between those post stitches just to kind of anchor those in place. You can kind of guess what we're going to do. We're going to wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times, and this time we're going to work around that first post that we skipped, bringing up that loop, 2, 3 and 4. And wrap the yarn around the hook 3 times again, working around that next post in the group of 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And for a final time we're going to work around that last post that is sitting there unworked. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we need to skip 3 stitches again, 1, 2, 3, 1 for each of those posts that we've worked, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And there we have our next crossover. We're going to repeat that second cross that we did, so the treble crochet cross, across the next 5 stitches. This time we're wrapping the yarn around the hook twice and working around the 3rd out of those 4. So 1, 2, and we're going around that one here. Yarning over and pulling through 3 times. That was the first one. We're going to work around that next post, working our treble crochet front post there. We've worked 1, 2 post stitches, so we need to work a single crochet into that next stitch on our current row. We're going to wrap the yarn around the hook, ready to work a front post treble crochet around that first post stitch that we skipped. Oh, I always do it on that first one. And 3, and our final treble around that next post. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Going to skip 1 stitch for each of those 2 posts worked, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and that brings us to our front post double crochet left cross. It's going to seem so simple in comparison. We just wrap the yarn over once as normal. We're inserting our hook around that second post and working our front post. We're going to work back just a single yarn over on this one and work back around that remaining post stitch. Going to skip 1 and skip 2 and work 1 single crochet into the next and just 1 single crochet into that last stitch. So we have some big crosses here, and going into row 6 we are repeating row 4, but we really do have to take care where our cross stitches are. So if I show you this, because mine were a bit loose, if I pull them out you can see the stitches, but as you're working across you just need to take care that you get into each and every stitch across. One single crochet into the same as our chain 1, and we're working one single crochet into each stitch across, just like we did in row 4. We just need to take a little bit of extra care to make sure we don't miss any stitches, because some may appear a little bit smaller than others, especially where they've been crossed. So work across, working one single crochet into the top of each stitch, and make sure you don't miss any. Your stitch count at the end of this should still be 33 stitches. So continue on, making sure that you work into each stitch across, and I'll meet you at the end of row 6. So at the end of row 6 you should have 33 single crochets. We're going to go into row 7, and we're going to start by making a single crochet into the same stitch as our chain 1, and one single crochet into the next. And in row 7 we're only working front post double crochets, just around those posts that we made in the previous row. Because they're crossed, they're a little bit more challenging to find sometimes. So the first one we need is that one that's at the back here. So I'm just going to move that front one out of the way, pop the front post onto my hook and work that front post double crochet. I'm then going to work another front post double crochet around that second front post. So just carry that twist up. We're going to skip one stitch behind for each of the posts worked, and work one single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. To work over our front post treble crochet cross, we're going to start with these first 2 posts. So we're going to yarn over and front post double crochet around that first one, yarn over to front post double crochet around that next one. We're then going to work one single crochet into the next stitch on the row. So you should skip one stitch for each post, and then we're doing the same by working one front post double crochet around each of the next 2 post stitches 2 rows below. So we should be looking like that. 1 and 2, and we're going to work one single crochet into the next. We're going to work one single crochet into the next stitch, ready to work across these 3 posts from the previous row. So the first one is a little bit closer than you think. So it's just making sure you can identify where they are. I'm going to just move these out of the way and push from behind to make those posts really obvious. Now we're working front post double crochets around these, so we just yarn over once, pick up that first post and work one front post double crochet. I just located that second one, so we've yarned over, pick up that second one, yarn over again to work around the third. Once we've worked those 3 front post double crochets, we skip one stitch for each and then single crochet into the next stitch of that current row. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We're going to repeat that, working one front post double crochet followed by a single crochet over the next 3 post stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We skip 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next. Now you can probably see there's a big hole there. Please don't worry, it's perfectly, it is supposed to be there, and when the square is laid flat those holes are not visible. It's just the nature of skipping stitches that you will create holes, but they are covered by those post stitches. I'm going to work one single crochet into the next, and then we're back to working one front post double crochet around the next 2 post stitches. So that's 1 and 2. We skip 1, 2, and we're going to single crochet into the next stitch on the current row. We're going to repeat that, working 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 2 post stitches. Whoops, come back, hook. That's 1, and this is number 2. Skip 1, skip 2, 1 for each of those post stitches, and single crochet into the next. We're going to work a final single crochet into that next stitch, and then we're just going to work a front post double crochet around that next post. Move that one out of the way, pick up just the one. And then we're going to work around that final post stitch. Skip 1, skip 2, and we have 2 single crochets left to work into. And there we have it. Now, believe it or not, that is all you need to make this beautiful square, because from rows 8 to 40, you're simply going to repeat rows 4 to 7 8 times, and then you're going to work 1 additional row or repeat of row 4. It's hard to believe that that's all this square takes, but it is just simply a 4-row repeat to make this glorious square. On the next row, you're going to work those. So on the next row, you're going to work your front post double crochet left cross, and then your front post treble crochet, your front post double treble, front post treble, and double crochet left cross. The following row that we've just worked, you simply work front post double crochets around all the posts. I have popped timestamps in for you to be able to repeat those 4 rows, which is rows 4 to 8 for 8 times. I have popped timestamps in there for you to repeat rows 4 to 7 8 times, and if you need to, you can download my free repeat cheat sheet, where you can tick off the rows as you work them so you don't get mixed up with which one you're working. Continue on to work those repeats of rows 4 to 7 8 times, work that additional repeat of row 4 to give you your total row count of 40, and I'm going to meet you back to work our edging. I'm just finishing off that final repeat of row 4 for row 40, ready to go into our edging. I'm going to start with a turning chain of 1. And ta-da! We have our beautiful rope stitches. I hope you've enjoyed making those extra tall stitches. For our edging, we're going to start working across the top of row 40, so you should have the right side of your fabric facing you. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the same stitch as our chain 1, and then work 1 single crochet into each stitch across to the corner. Into our corner, we are working 1 single crochet, a chain of 2, and a further single crochet all into that corner stitch. And then we're going to work across our row edges. We only need 32 single crochets worked across these row edges to bring us to that corner. So it just means you have to miss a few every now and again. Working into the row edges, we're just working 1 and 2, then I'm going to skip 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and skip another one, 7, 8, 9, skip 1, 10, 11 and 12, skip 1, 13, 14, 15, skip another one, 16, 17, 18, skip 1, 19, 20, 21, not skipping 1, 22, 23, skip 1, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So I don't need to skip any more, and that's going to end me perfectly on 32 and bring me to that corner. There we are. In that next corner, we are working 1 single crochet, a chain of 2, and a further single crochet into that corner. going to rotate, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the opposite side of our beginning chain. If, like me, you worked into your back bumps, they are going to be a little bit more like stitches rather than working into the beginning of your chain, which is why I encourage people to work into that back bump, because it just creates any gap between our edging and our square as well. So continue working 1 single crochet into each to your next corner. Into the next corner, we're going to work 1 single crochet, a chain of 2 and a further single crochet, and then we have to work up across our row ends once again, placing 32 single crochets evenly across to your back to your first corner. So complete what you did on the other side of the square, just skipping rows as you need to achieve that correct number of rows of 32 stitches. Once you're back to that first corner, we're going to work a single crochet, a chain of 2, and then we're slip stitching to that first single crochet that we made in the round. Oops. To join, and then we can fasten off. So yes, this square will probably benefit from a little light blocking to make those stitches stand out absolutely perfectly. And I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make 3 different sizes of rope stitch. I think they look absolutely beautiful, and I really like how they interweave with each other as well. They are the perfect rope twists. If you are making your Heritage 8 blanket, you will of course need to make 2 more of these squares to go along with all the other squares we're making. You'll find a link in the description box to the playlist that shows all 8 of these squares, and I hope you've enjoyed making this one.